you tired of your design thinking project falling flat? Trust me, there's high probability that you're making this particular mistakes that I'll be listing in this particular video. Not to worry, I made those mistakes as well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Faith and I'm a product designer who is passionate about helping people grow and also grow personally as well. So if you're just new to my channel, do well to click the subscribe button so you get notified anytime I release a new video. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you very much. Do well to like and share this video to people you know would benefit from it. My goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers soon and I definitely cannot do that without you guys. So thank you for clicking the subscribe button, and yeah, let's get into our video for today. Are you tired of your design thinking project falling flat? Trust me, there's high probability that you're making this particular mistakes that I'll be listing in this particular video. Not to worry, I made those mistakes as well. And I'm going to be listing 5 common mistakes beginners make with their design thinking process, and also lesson that I personally learned, and also how to improve them. So what exactly is design thinking? Now, design thinking is actually a human-centered approach to you solving a particular problem, or if you want to build a product, it's a new product, you're actually building it for someone or somebody out there for people to use and utilize in their day-to-day activity. So you thinking or having the mind that you are actually designing for a user who is a person, not just an assumption, that is you actually, that is design thinking essentially. It's not just you designing Figma screens, it's you designing and knowing that every single thing I'm putting into consideration here has to do with somebody. So I would say essentially it's about you understanding people first. To be honest, this is the core factor that has to do with design thinking or designing a product that essentially solves problems and not just Figma screen designs. Design thinking is built on 5 key phases. The first is empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. Now, if you're watching this video, I'm sure you've heard these terms before. It's not about you being familiar with this term. It's essentially how you are able to apply this knowledge into you building successful products that essentially solve people problems. From designing healthcare experiences to solving and making complex problems easier for user, top companies essentially utilize this particular skill to solving a user problem. So the first mistake a lot of beginners made, and personally I would say that I've made similar mistakes in the past when I just started as a designer, I would always skip empathy. Skipping empathy, that is something I've seen a lot, and to be honest, especially when it's a product that is out there and you can easily see similar products out there, it's not just only going to make you create similar products without any change or improvement. It's just going to make you replicate what is existing before without any improvement. So skipping empathy, you are actually skipping the need to understand the user you are actually creating a particular product for. So you want to ensure that you understand the user. You don't skip empathy and go straight into ideation. Just go straight to start sketching wireframes and trying to replicate existing designs from Dribbble and Behance. Do well to actually know the type of users you're designing that particular product for. You could talk to a friend, or you could actually talk to someone online. You can post a comment and look at how people would actually react to it. It's not necessarily have to be serious. It's just because you want to see their view regarding a particular thing. Let's take for example, you want to improve a particular product. You're trying to build your portfolio as a beginner and you want to actually build on an existing product, and in your portfolio you want to indicate that you did your empathy product. That is, you actually choose to understand what every user is complaining about, what is an existing problem we actually want to solve. Something like that helps you understand that, okay, yeah, this product has been existing before, but a user wants an addition or a removal to such products, which you can eventually add to your product, and that is what will actually give you an edge over other existing products. That is how you see people come up with new suggestions on how to, let's improve this with this particular feature, let's add this particular feature. It's not just the guesswork, it's because they took time to study and empathize with people out there. They send out survey, they ask questions. That way you can see ideas from people. Like, you would see numerous ideas, you would see pains, oh my goodness, I don't really like this particular feature in this particular app, I wish it can be improved. And all those bits are the things that you would put together in your design thinking process, and trust me, it will actually make you build a product that is actually human centered. And trust me, that would help with your design process. The second mistake a lot of beginners make is falling in love with your first idea. To be very honest, I did something similar as a beginner, and that is why I am making this video. Don't just sketch something and feel that should be the final way. There's several ways you can actually represent a particular screen, a particular layout. There's several ways you can interpret a particular flow, and if you give two people, give them the same product persona and description, they will actually come with different user flow. One might be easier than the other, so you don't want to first fall in love with your first idea. You feel okay because you're sketching this out, that should be it. Try running it through people. So recently I actually was given a task by a client I'm working on a particular product, and it gave me, it described what it want the user to be able to do on the particular product. And what I did was I decided to present two different ways the user can perform that particular action. One having, all that addition, just run the idea with the team. The reason I did that is because you don't just want to sit with the first idea. The reason we are ideating is because we want to try multiple ways to get the user to actually perform that particular action. Afterward, we are trying to build this product to make it easy for people to use, right? So when you are doing, or when you are working on a project, on a task, or if it's a practice work or a professional task, do well to always create options or create several ways in order for you to actually do a particular thing. You would actually see that at the end of the day, you would go with the one that is more effective and that works well with the user and makes things easier and better for them. The third mistake would be trying to ensure your prototype to be perfect. Aside from the fact that if you're handing off to developers or people you're working with, prototyping is for you to actually, get feedbacks and see how someone is able to interact with a particular thing, get feedback, improve on it. It's essentially not the end. Like I see a lot of people treat prototype as, okay, when I'm done with this particular thing, I'm going to prototype and just submit. That is not how design thinking works. Prototyping is to see that, okay, yes, we created this flow, let's see how people get to work with it. It is essentially to get feedback and input from people that are going to work with that particular product. It's not just the final thing, it's not the final display work, it's just not for fun. It's just for you to know how people interact with it, how fast they're able to, get this particular message you're trying to send to them. Let's take, for example, you created a design application there, that there are certain buttons that you want them to know. Is this going to be possible? Is this going to be useful? Those are the questions that you want to ask, or you want to take note of when prototyping or when interacting with a prototype. So when you're prototyping, don't just see that, oh my goodness, I'm prototyping, I want to just submit it and then we're done with that particular thing. So you don't see it as, okay, let me know how well you are able to interact with it, then get feedback and work better and make improvements on your design. What mistake beginners make is ignoring feedback. And I would always say this, feedbacks are meant to actually help you grow, not necessarily make you feel bad. Now, we all love when we get good feedbacks, when it looks like praise and someone is saying, oh my goodness, thumbs up, you did well, and we ignore criticism. You won't always get good feedback every single time you present your design. You'd get people complaining, you get people making, taking notes and telling you, oh my goodness, I really do not like how this flow is. When you hear feedbacks like that, it's not meant to make you feel bad, rather it's supposed to make you think, okay, fine, this particular thing, they don't understand this particular flow, they find it difficult to navigate this particular application. How well can I make it better for them? Feedbacks are not meant to make you sad or anything. Feedbacks are essentially helping you to grow and think as a designer, because essentially if you take those feedbacks you see and improve on them, trust me, Apple, for example, are literally known for their attention to details. I came across a TikTok video where a user was actually interacting with the pencil and the Apple pad, and she was so surprised that they made a shadow effect. Like you can be scrolling with your pen on the screen and then you see the shadow effect cast, and everyone in the comment section was like, that is why we love Hapo, because they pay attention to detail. Trust me, getting feedback would make you stand out, especially if you pick those feedbacks and use it to improve your application if you're the designer. So you would go to Google review, you see people saying drop review, give feedbacks. They just want to improve their system. The first product or the first design you submit might not be that particular design that solved the problem or the design that they are looking for. So when you get feedback, you want to go back and start thinking, okay, fine, now they find it difficult doing this, how well can I know it, how well can I improve on it? That is what improves your design thinking ability. The fifth mistake would be treating design thinking process as a linear process. Trust me, it's not a linear process. And I feel like as the beginning, what affected me was the fact that, I felt it's just like they listed it, so it should be one step after the other. But that's not the case. The case is not that you go to this particular step, once you're done, you move to the other, once you're done, you move to the... Trust me, it's a loop. It's actually over and over again. It's got something called iteration in design, and that is where you have to go back and take a look at it, reconstruct, sketch, come back again, and till you are able to get your final idea. Now the design process we know is empathize, ideate, define, prototype, test, right? You can actually get to the test stage, and then you discover based on feedback that something is not working, and then you go back to the ideating, or probably you are prototyping a particular work, you see that people are not resonating with what you've done, then you want to go back to the same ideating. So it's always back and forth. Essentially, we will keep iterating and making improvements to the designs we have till we are actually able to solve the problem, because as long as people keep making mistakes, we'll keep looking for a way to actually make it better. So you don't want to treat design thinking process as a one linear process. It's not linear, actually. It's actually interwoven. You have to go back and forth. That is what is iteration. So don't treat it like a linear process. The real magic happens when you stay curious, you stay humble, and you stay in the loop. Trust me, if you're learning design thinking and it's looking messy, it's not really messy. It's actually helping you grow as a beginner, because if you get that, trust me, you can work on any tasks. You can be a product designer that work on any task. You take any problem and you are able to solve the problem because you understand what design thinking is. It's not just Figma. It is essentially you able to understand and relate with people, and always listening to whatever feedbacks you have, bringing it back to your system and improving it for your product. Eventually people will say, oh my god, I love your product. Oh my god, I really love your product. Trust me, people that get feedbacks like that put the users into consideration. So when you're getting your task or you're working on a new project out there, do well to put all this in mind, and you see that your approach, your thinking process towards design will actually change. So if this video has actually helped you, do well to click the like button and also subscribe. So if you've made any of this mistake, do well to comment below and let's learn together.